Available now. Link below.
In a nation where justice is supposed to be blind, the scales have tipped in a shocking display of political vengeance. Former President Donald Trump has been slapped with an astronomical $355 million fine in a civil fraud case, sparking outrage and raising eyebrows across the country. But this is not just any legal battle. It's a glaring symbol of the fight for the soul of our republic. As Trump fires back with the full force and of his resolve, we're reminded that this isn't merely about fines or legalities. It's about the very essence of fairness, the rule of law, and the relentless pursuit of political adversaries in the courts. Tonight we peel back the curtain on this unprecedented saga, revealing the gritty battle between power and principle. This is a story that transcends Trump, touching at the heart of American justice. And you don't want to miss the final thought on why this explosive confrontation matters deeply to every citizen who believes in the sanctity of our republic. Now, before we dive deeper into today's riveting report, a quick reminder from our corner. The quality, groundbreaking news you've come to expect from us wouldn't be possible without the support of our incredible sponsors. Much like the essentials of life, groceries, gas, and yes, your energy bill, prices are skyrocketing. It's come to a point where power companies are drowning in a sea of $13 million in unpaid bills. But folks, there is a beacon of hope. Thousands of people have discovered this compact miracle device, slashing those hefty power bills, challenging the greed of the utility giants. This energy-saving marvel, you just plug it in. It's not just a gadget, it is your shield against the onslaught of rising costs, and it's available at an exclusive 65% off only at don'twastepower.com. That's don'twastepower.com for unparalleled savings. Now, in a ruling that sent shockwaves through the nation, Judge Arthur Engoron has levied a staggering $355 million fine against former President Donald Trump, marking a moment in history that many are calling a blatant act of political persecution. Now, this decision, stemming from a civil fraud trial in New York, not only seeks to impose a financial penalty of monumental proportions, but also bars Trump from managing his business empire in the state for 3 years. In a rapid and vehement reaction, former President Trump fiercely criticized Judge Engoron and New York Attorney General Letitia James, labeling the judge as crooked and James as very corrupt. And in an exclusive interview with Fox News Digital, Trump expressed his outrage over the ruling that ordered him to pay the fine, which he disputes as completely baseless. Trump argued that the legal actions against him were driven by a political vendetta rather than justice, pointing out that James had campaigned on a promise to target him without any prior knowledge of him or his dealings. He insisted that his financial statements are great, highlighting that there were no victims and no damages in the case. And further intensifying his counterattack, Trump took to Truth Social, posting a video that exposed the true nature of Letitia James, whom he called a communist, intent on destroying New York State with unconstitutional fines over a loan he asserts was legally obtained and fully repaid. Accompanying the video, Trump's statement aimed to rally support against what he perceives as an unjust persecution, emphasizing the need to prevent the imposition of the hefty fine. Watch.
He's called me venomous.
We will fight back to your attempt to bring Trumpism to New York City.
He's called me disgraceful.
Of the fact that they stole the Supreme Court seat. An illegitimate president and an illegitimate member of the United States Supreme Court.
He's called me radical.
Listen, yes. We know he's crazy. Yes. We know he doesn't have a sound mind. Yes. We know he's out of control. Yes. We know he's losing it. Yes. We know his days are numbered and we will come together.
He's called me a racist.
We've got to stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale.
Thank you.
Wow. Press the wrong button there. Unbelievable, though, the words coming out of her mouth. Now, together, these responses showcase Trump's strategy of combining legal defense with political relations to combat what he sees as a concerted effort to undermine him politically and financially. The former president didn't stop there. He pointed out the absurdity of the valuation of Mar-a-Lago and highlighted the bias he believes Judge Engoron harbors against him. This is a witch hunt where the judge ruled against me before he even saw the case. That's what Trump declared, challenging the judge's valuation of his properties and underscoring the success of his financial dealings with banks and insurance companies. But Trump is not alone in his condemnation of Engoron's decision. Representative Elise Stefanik has also stepped into the fray, echoing Trump's sentiments of political bias and judicial overreach. Her fiery critique of both Engoron and James underlines a broader concern among conservatives about the politicization of the judiciary and its implications for the republic. Take a look.
That historic hearing showed that one voice, supported by the American people, can set off an earthquake and a reckoning and help save our country. We cannot give up. The life of our country is at stake, and as we all know, the closer President Trump gets to victory, the dirtier the Democrats, their stenographers in the media, and the corrupt prosecutors will get. They will stop at nothing, and I mean nothing, in their attempt to steal this next election. We saw Democrats baselessly impeach President Trump twice. They indicted him 4 times for non-crimes and are trying to bankrupt him and destroy his successful business. In my home state of New York, far-left Democrat New York Attorney General Tish James, who campaigned on going after President Trump, she teamed up with an unethical Democrat Manhattan judge to unconstitutionally impose a nearly $500 million penalty on Trump for the victimless non-crime of paying back banks in full, on time, as agreed, with interest. It's corrupt. And the left has gone so far as to desperately try to remove President Trump from the ballot. Why? Because Joe Biden's approval is in free fall, and they want to take away the vote from you. Meanwhile, you have the corrupt Joe Biden crime family lining their pockets from illegal influence peddling schemes, the Biden crime family. Yet Democrats in the media like to pretend they are saving democracy. But it's the radical left and the Democrats that are destroying democracy. But we cannot let them, and we won't let them.
Now, this clip showcases the palpable frustration and anger among Trump supporters and his allies, reinforcing the belief that the ruling is not just an attack on Trump, but on the very principles of fairness and justice that the American legal system is supposed to uphold. As the narrative unfolds, Trump's defiance becomes a beacon for his base. Rallying cries of political persecution echo through social media and conservative circles. Trump's underlying stance is further illustrated in a poignant post on Truth Social, where he denounces the ruling as election interference and tyrannical abuse of power. Trump's words resonate with a significant portion of the American populace skeptical of the motivations behind the judge's decision. So, the image from Truth Social you see here, it encapsulates Trump's rejection of the ruling, his belief in the political motivations behind it, and his determination to fight back against what he views as an unjust system. He states, the election interference and tyrannical abuse of power by a crooked judge and crooked attorney general cannot be tolerated. My case was already won in the appellate division, and more than 80% of the frivolous claims were wiped out. Yet, as I suspected, and in order to hurt me and the Republican Party politically, crooked and corrupt Judge Arthur Engoron ignored his loss at the appellate division, came up with an outrageous as well, $355 million fine against me. Criticism of Judge Engoron extends beyond his decisions in the courtroom. Trump and his allies have highlighted Engoron's conduct throughout the trial, accusing him of bias and a lack of impartiality. The judge's remarks about Trump's testimony and his decision to impose a partial gag order have been cited as evidence of judicial approach that seems more concerned with punishing Trump than with adjudicating the law. Trump's legal team has vigorously contested the ruling, pointing to the former president's financial acumen, the success of his business ventures, and the lack of tangible victims as arguments in the appeal. They argue that the ruling is not only unfounded, but also represents a dangerous precedent for the use of legal mechanisms as tools of political warfare. The controversy surrounding the $355 million fine and the subsequent barring from business operations in New York casts a long shadow over Trump's potential 2024 victory. Supporters argue that the timing and severity of the judgment are intended to undermine Trump's political future, a sentiment that has galvanized his base and fueled discussions about the integrity of the American judicial system. The case also highlights the broader implications of such legal battles for American business leaders. and the potential for judicial actions to be weaponized for political purposes. Critics of the ruling see it as part of a pattern of targeting high-profile figures who challenge the status quo, raising concerns about the fairness and independence of the judiciary. So as this report draws to a close, it's clear that the ruling against Trump is not just a legal matter, but a flashpoint in the ongoing struggle for the soul of the republic. The implications of this case extend far beyond the courtroom, touching on issues of justice, political bias, and the future of our republic itself. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. As we wrap up tonight's report, it's crucial to understand the gravity of what has unfolded. The $355 million fine against Trump isn't just about numbers. It is a glaring spotlight on the battle lines drawn between power and principle. This case transcends Trump, piercing the heart of our republic, challenging the very foundations of justice and fairness. It's a wake-up call for every American, regardless of political affiliation, to scrutinize the forces shaping our nation's future. The outrage and defiance sparked by this ruling aren't merely reactions. They are a rallying cry for those who believe in the sanctity of the legal system and the dangers of its manipulation for political ends. Let this moment be a reminder. In the pursuit of justice, let us not forsake fairness and truth. For in that loss, the essence of our republic is at stake.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.